What's up, horror fam?
You know what time it is.
Let's get into this!
You look at that, I fucking remembered.
You did it, you fuck! You did it!
You did it.
Yeah, you did it! Oh, what's up, everybody?
What's up, people?
We are back in the saddle again.
Back in the saddle again.
I knew that was coming. And one of us was going to say it's going to be me or you. Not
Yeah. I mean, you can't say that statement without singing that song.
But yeah, it's good to be back, horror fan. Good to be back.
Yeah, good to have my buddy sitting across the table from me.
Man, I'm
here.
telling you, dude. I got
even
some.
Suck his dick before the end of this episode.
And he will. Mass genocide.
You never know what'll happen on our show.
No, but it's I'm telling you, I got a lot of stuff going on in my mind, and there's things I'm wanting to do, and things that me and my wife are wanting to do, and it's kind of like time to make some life choices and say fuck it and go for it.
We're making choices.
You know, saying some stuff. It's gonna affect that's gonna affect your fucking ass too.
Oh.
Yeah.
I like it when he affects my ass.
I didn't say infects.
Oh, yeah, I got you. Sorry. I didn't graduate high school. I don't know the lingo.
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Here we are.
It's going to be a fucking good one. Like that malt's fucking applesauce commercial or whatever, apple juice commercial.
Is it fucking Musselman?
No, the fucking little girl. She's like, is that good applesauce? He's like, good. Fucking good. She's like 3 years old. And it's like, Mott's fucking good apple juice. That little girl, man. She's literally pauses. She's like, good. Fucking good.
Dude, I ain't seen that. I'm gonna have to check
I'll show you later.
Oh my god, I gotta see that.
Dude, it's fucking hilarious.
Holy shit.
It's kind of like the little girl with the Chucky. Did you see the Chucky one? The Irish lady?
No.
Irish or Scottish. So this little girl.
Damn, I don't watch enough TV.
This is just the I've seen on
ads
TV.
on
ads
fucking,
and shit.
yeah.
But it showed
you don't watch no fucking TV.
Yeah, I don't watch TV. So, but no, they had this this Scottish lady. She's talking to her daughter. She's like, and what happened? Who was it? And she's like, Chucky.
Chucky?
Fucking Chucky. And her mom's like, oh my god.
Oh my god.
But it's fucking funny. She's like, Chucky. Fucking Chucky. I'm sure most of our people have seen it. It's fucking funny.
He's got me gagging over here.
Already.
I ain't even got his pants unzipped.
Oh, so what the fuck you been doing, brother?
Oh, dude. Honestly, I've been working.
Me too.
I worked some more. And then the other day, I worked.
Sweet. Hell, I just did that today.
Yeah.
On my day off.
Yeah, you motherfucker. You fucking working your fucking dick off.
Fuck, I'm telling you, dude. And it's not
I can tell when you try to put it.
Yeah, I can tell you lost an inch or two.
Jesus.
Can you feel it?
Kind of episode.
Can you feel it?
No, I really can't.
Yeah, no. Exactly.
I really can't. Are you in yet?
You done? Yet? Are you done?
I get that all the time. Yeah. Will you hurry up?
Jesus Christ, my soaps are on.
God damn it, I got Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Oh, shit, man. I'll tell you what.
It's funny. I finally got my wife away from watching those shows with me. You know what I do? Every time she watches them, I'm like, wow, that chick's got some nice titties. Because they all wear these low-cut shirts
of course.
And shit, you know? And
that's what sells.
You know, so she's like, oh, Real Housewives of Orange County. It's like, that chick's got some nice titties.
Got some Orange County over there, huh? See, that's the whole point, man. It's like...
The other day, she's watching the fucking... MacGyver or something, and I'm like, that dude's got some nice titties.
I just see them everywhere.
Like, shut the fuck up.
Man.
Jesus. Yeah, we're back.
You guys know, you asked for it. You fucking asked for it, and we're here.
Yes.
I got yelled at today by a coworker.
Nice.
Dylan. I'll give Dylan a shout out. He'll be listening to this.
Dylan, you're a fucking dick.
Yes, he is. No, he's a good dude. He's a good kid. He told me today though. He's like, I said something about he has a podcast, or him and another guy have a podcast, something like that. But anyway,
it's not as good as ours.
soon to be.
But
no, he was like, he was talking about the podcast, and I was like,
maybe we ought to swap co-hosts.
Yeah, no shit.
Boy, that would fuck them up.
No, they're cool. They're good.
Oh, okay, right on.
They're right. But no, he's like, he has had something about my podcast. He's like, oh, you guys put out episodes?
Oh, son of a bitch. That's it. Those motherfuckers going out tonight.
Shit. So
Thursday, January 13th.
I'm going to tell Dylan. I said, I gave you a special shout out. You better listen. You fuck.
Some bitch.
But he does listen all the time. So,
yeah, cool.
You know, it's
well, Dylan, thanks for listening.
You know, man,
you
it's
fucking dick.
He'll be laughing at that.
Oh.
No, dude, it is good to fucking be back. And I just, man, there's a lot of things going on, and it's, I don't know. I'm at a moment in time where I need to make a decision on things and do shit. Same thing with my wife. You know, we've got some things that we want to, you know.
Don't make decisions too fast.
Nah, yeah. Well, this has been
your moment passes.
This has been years. Yeah, this has been years in the making. You know. Oh. So I don't know. I want, you won't do it if you don't do it.
Yeah, you're right. You know? You're right. I mean, you got to fucking shit or get off the pot.
Yeah, so it's like, man, let's just say fuck it and go for it, you know, and
that's scary sometimes, man.
Yeah, it is, you know, but you gotta have confidence, and you gotta go into it 100%, man. You know, and I gotta be honest with you, dude. Like with this podcast, not only does it give me and you a chance to hang out and just fucking talk and about shit we like and have a good time, but it's something that we love to do, and not only that, but we've met so many cool ass people through this podcast. God, we have gone to some. Fucking going to conventions, man. We only been to one, and I'm like hooked already. You know, it's like,
dude, that was so fucking funny the other day. You fucking texted me. You're like, don't you think it's weird that fucking Jerry Pauly is responding to your fucking Facebook posts and shit? And I'm like, yeah, fucking Justin Rummel's all over my ass too from Mysterious Circumstances.
Yeah, dude.
I don't know how the hell that happened.
And it's cool though.
Justin Rummel and Jerry Pauly both very fucking cool dudes, man.
And it's the people we get to meet, and then. You know, it's
Speaking of conventions, I did look at getting us a booth for the America Haunted Conference this year. Mm-hmm. It's like $275, I think.
Yeah.
And basically, it gives you a booth for both days. They give you a table,
I could tell you this.
Skirt, fucking all that shit.
No matter what happens, I'm going to make sure my phone's turned down before I do it, pull a dick.
Gonna make sure the microphone's not on before he tells his boss to fuck off.
No.
No. Just kidding.
Unfortunately. But no, no, I am going to definitely be taking those days off. Yeah. And we're going to go for
we'll talk about that after we get done here, because I just looked at that a few days ago.
You know,
there is space available, but we need to do it quick if we're going to do it.
And I want to.
And we need to figure out if we want to do that. You know,
I had a good time last year.
Oh, dude, I had a blast.
I mean,
but I am kind of concerned about us having this set up
somewhere.
You know, and then us having to stay there.
Yeah.
Because you know how we are. We're going to be like, oh, motherfucker, Troy Taylor, we got to go talk to him. Motherfucking Luke Naliborski, we got to go talk to him.
Yeah, get Sunspot, you know.
Yeah, Sunspot's going to be there. You know?
My thing is, too, that's what sucks is we got to bring it up, is like fucking, am I going to be able to go? Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Because of vaccine shit and all that bullshit, you know. It's kind of like a fucking... Yeah. Everything's a fucking hassle.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to push that issue or not.
Yeah, I don't think about that. But
I don't think it will. They didn't do it last year.
They didn't. It was funny. Troy kept bringing it up though.
Yeah.
And who's the girl? Julie, I think is her name.
Fuck. I feel like an ass if I didn't.
Hot as fuck chick.
I feel like an ass if I didn't remember her name and.
But she kept giving him shit about it. We're not going to talk about that.
Yeah, it's like...
I was like, yeah.
So, anyways.
All right, we're going to have to cancel the show. I can't find my lighter.
You just had it in your fucking...
I know I did. Anyway.
He's losing his shit.
I'm done. Have a good night, folks.
But no, I
can fucking pull everything out of my pocket.
Just to get it?
Just to get it.
So...
Look at my fucking wallet.
It's empty.
It's got a $10 bill in it.
Look at here.
Because we make so much money during our show.
Don't you know?
Anyway.
But yeah, I am super excited about doing that stuff. So I just hope it all works. And then, you know what? We're going to fucking start doing our own fucking convention and bring us the people to us. You know? Have a nice badass setup and great times, cool people.
You know, and it's so funny. Every time we bring that up with somebody, they're all like, fuck yeah, I'd come to your show.
Oh, they'll do it.
If you guys fucking did a convention.
If you build it, they will come.
Oh, dude.
If you build it, they will come. I'm telling you. So, yeah. All of our podcast fucking homies and homettes out there, you guys know that in the making, we got some cool shit coming down.
And you know, some of our best buds on the podcast network are so fucking far away.
Yeah, the only one I'm really worried about is
Big Bill.
And I really want Bill to come
Butcher
down.
Bill.
I want to meet all these guys in person, but I definitely want to meet Bill.
I just want to fucking give old fucking Bill a fucking hug.
I just want to give him a tuggy.
A tuggy. Ryan's going to give you a mouth hug.
Let me embrace you. Let me embrace you.
If you guys haven't listened to fucking Bill's show, he does a show. Well, he does several shows.
Yeah,
he's on Phantom Galaxy with Nathan Bartleball. He's on Land of the Creeps.
Strange Frequencies.
Fantastic fucking Greg Morgan.
Dave
Becca. Love them guys. Dave just gave us a good shout out today. He listened to a show we did with Greg back on our favorite decapitations and horror films. Yeah, heads were rolling in that fucking episode.
Good shit, man.
Yeah, it was fucking cool, man.
Good shit.
Cool.
So, what are we going to get into?
So, you know, we talk about all kinds of shit, but I want to get into this story because I've kind of fucking got into it the past few days, and I can't stop watching. Oh, thank God the heat kicked on.
I just farted.
Because my penis is cold.
That's my excuse, too.
My penis is cold. But anyway.
It's an innie.
So, I'm going to start this off by giving you a list of names. Okay? And the list of names are Sonja Larson, Christina Powell, Krista Hoyt, Manny Taboda, and Tracy Paulus.
Not Tracy Paulus.
Not Tracy Paulus. Love you, Tracy. Tracy Paulus. What we're going to talk about tonight, guys, is the Gainesville Ripper.
The Gainesville Ripper.
This, if you're old like we are, you may remember it because it was all over the news. This tragedy really occurred in the latter half of 1990. And it's a crazy story, and I kind of did some research and some reading on it, and then I watched a documentary about it. And after I watched the documentary about it, I was like, yeah, okay, yeah, I see it, I see that. And then all of a sudden I saw a better documentary about it and was actually sitting there with my mouth wide open like, holy fuck. Because they fucking blew it out of the water.
Yeah.
I was just like, holy shit. So we're just going to get into this a little bit here. In August of 1990, Sonja Larson and Krista Powell were starting their freshman year at University of Florida. University of Florida is the home of the Gators in Gainesville, Florida. I remember the families were trying to get a dorm room for Sonja Larson. They couldn't find a dorm room. Well, Sonja and Christy had met over the summer. They were doing like a work program, and they had met, and they'd become friends. Well, they were both starting their freshman year at the college that year. So the families got together and decided, well, let's see if we can find them an apartment off campus. They really wanted them to have a dorm room, but all the dorm rooms were already taken, so they couldn't get in there. So they were forced to get an apartment off campus. They ended up getting an apartment at a place called the Warrensburg Apartment Complex, just off campus. The families rented them this apartment, and the girls went there. As they were moving stuff in, they had Sonja had a sister and a brother-in-law that were going to bring her some furniture. They moved in on a Friday night. On Saturday morning, her sister and her brother-in-law were going to bring her some furniture for the new apartment. They get there, knocking on the door, can't get anybody to respond. Waited around. They never could get anybody to answer the door. So they called Sonja's mother and said, hey, can you call her and see if we can get we've got this furniture. We're trying to get it in there and get it unloaded. She tried to call her several times, never could get an answer on the phone. So she decided to call Christy's parents, the Powell family. She figured they live closer to Gainesville. They could go there and see what was going on. Mm-hmm. So the Powell family never could get a hold of them either. So the Powell family went to Gainesville, and they got to the apartment complex. No response at the door. Can't get in the apartment. So they contact the maintenance man at the apartment complex, and he says, okay, we'll get you in there. Well, he had the foresight of, I need to contact the police before we go in there, because he couldn't get any kind of response from the door either.
Yeah.
So he contacts the police department there in Gainesville, and they send 2 officers over. And after the officers get there, the maintenance man gains entry into the apartment. Well, the first thing that he sees is Christy Powell's body in the living room.
Oh, shit.
So, think about this. Her mother and father are standing outside on the porch, right behind the police. The maintenance man runs out of the apartment and immediately starts puking. So they're like, what in the hell is going on in there? So the police enter. They find Christy Powell's body in the living room, and they decide to go further into the apartment. They go upstairs. Like I said, Christy Powell was downstairs. Sonja Larson was in her bed. She had a water bed. Both girls had been murdered, mutilated, and posed in provocative positions. What they surmised happened here, they could tell this is a big investigation. It's kind of going to be a long story, but we'll get through it as fast as we can. So basically what had happened is these 2 girls had been gagged with duct tape. Their hands had been
taped together
behind. They'd been bound together behind their backs. They had been forced to lay on their stomachs while the killer stabbed them in the back, killing them both. What he would do, though, is afterwards she would remove the duct tape, clean the bodies, and then pose them. Not together, but like pose them. So Larson was found in her bed. She was sitting in the bed, posed in like a provocative position, completely nude. Mm-hmm. in a very strange
Yeah.
deal. So anyway, they start doing their investigation. Now, this was August 24th of 1990, Friday, August 24th. So as they're doing this investigation, on Saturday, August 25th, just 8 hours later, they find a third victim, Krista Hoyt, who was 18. The interesting thing about Krista Hoyt, the reason why they found her so quickly, Krista Hoyt, actually, she was a freshman at University of Florida. She always wanted to be a police officer. So when she got to Gainesville, Florida, she got a job working for the Gainesville Police Department as like a dispatcher, secretary kind of thing. Krista Hoyt was never late for work. She loved her job. She was there on time or early every day. She didn't show up for work this day. So the police thought that was kind of odd, so they sent 2 officers out to her house for a wellness check. So they get to the house, knock on the door, no answer. It was a male cop and a female cop. The female cop stayed on the front porch, and the male cop went around the back of the apartment building. And as he went around the back of the apartment building, there was a window with the blinds were like lifted on one corner. So he kind of lit his flashlight and bent down and peered underneath through the window, and he could see Krista Hoyt's body on the bed. Same MO. Hands bound behind her back. You know, she had been stabbed in the back and she had been posed in a provocative position. The strange thing about Krista Hoyt was there was one big difference. She had been decapitated.
Holy shit.
What's so bizarre about this, and we'll get into it later because I'm going to tell you who the killer was, but so her body was on the bed. Basically, it was sitting on the edge of the bed, and her torso was slumped forward over her legs. Of course, she was naked. And her head had been severed from her body, and her head was on a shelf looking directly at her own body.
Holy shit. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah. It's a fucked up story. So while they're doing these investigations on these now 3 murders, okay, in 2 days, 3 murders in 2 days, while they're doing these investigations, all of a sudden dispatch gets a call that there's a robbery at the First Union Bank in Gainesville. Somebody walks in, ski mask on, gun, robs the bank. It was kind of funny. What they were saying was whenever the cashier was loading the bag with the money, of course she threw a dye pack in there, and whenever she zipped the bag up, the robber was like, "Thank you, ma'am, have a nice day," and turned around and walked out of the bank. So they never figured out who robbed the bank. And of course, they're like, okay, we've got 3 murders, and now all of a sudden we've had a bank robbery, okay? Well, come to find out, there was they had seen a white male walking into the woods behind one of the apartments. And so they followed him. And whenever they followed him in there, they lost track of him. But they found a campsite in the woods. And inside the tent was all kinds of evidence, but one of the things was a bag from the bank and money that had this red or pink dye on it, okay? So they thought, okay, this is where the bank robber was staying. So they gathered up all the evidence. They found, a gun, a screwdriver, some clothing, of course, the money, a knife, tape recorder, and some other things. Anyway, they take all this stuff back and they enter it into evidence and never really think too much about it. So this was on Sunday that this happened. On Monday, August 25th, this is day 3, there's a girl, Tracy Paulus. Her sister was trying to get a hold of her. Or, not, I'm sorry, not her sister. Her best friend was trying to get a hold of her, and she couldn't get her on the phone, blah, blah, blah. So her sister, or her friend, I'm sorry, sends her friend, Tommy, to the apartment to check it out. So Tommy goes to the apartment and immediately calls Tracy, or calls this friend. I'm sorry. It was, I don't remember the friend's name. I didn't write that down. But anyway, he immediately calls the friend and he's like, it's Tracy. It's Tracy. It's Tracy. And she's like, what the hell? You know, at this point, the nation has heard about these 3 murders that have happened. So in the midst of them investigating these 3 murders, now a bank robbery, now you've got another scene with 2 dead bodies. These 2 dead bodies were 23-year-old Manuel Tabota, which they called him Manny, and Tracy Paulus. Now, Manny and Tracy were not boyfriend and girlfriend, but they did live in the same apartment. They had been friends all their lives, and they just decided they were older in school, and they decided when they went back to school they'd just get an apartment and they'd both stay there. So what ended up happening was every one of these cases were done the exact same way. There was a sliding glass door on the back of the apartment that was broken into with a screwdriver. Everybody that was murdered was stabbed to death. So what had happened was when the killer went into Manny and Tracy's apartment, he goes to Manny's room and finds Manny asleep. He stabs Manny. Manny wakes up. Manny was a big, muscular guy. Manny wakes up and a fight ensues. Unfortunately, this guy ends up killing him. Then he goes to... And while this is going on, Tracy hears what's going on. She gets inside her closet and locks the door. Well, of course, this guy finds her in the closet.
Like Michael Myers.
Yeah. This is no Jamie Lee Curtis here. So this guy finds her in the closet, and he did the same thing to her that he did to Krista Powell and Christina Hoyt. He duct taped their mouth, duct taped her hands behind her back, and this is one thing I didn't tell you about. All 3 of these girls, he cut their clothes off with his knife, raped them, and then forced them on their stomach, stabbed them in the back. Christina Hoyt was the only lucky one. They figured out the first stab wound severed her aorta, and she died immediately. So she has no idea,
what happened.
If there's a good to come of this, that's about all you can get. So he has now killed 5 people in the span of 4 days. All of this in Gainesville, Florida. So the police start looking at this, and they realize that all 5 of the murders have something in common. They have 4 things in common. All the victims were displayed in some fashion, some provocative pose or position or whatever. All of them were duct taped across the mouth, and they were also duct taped to bind their hands behind their back. Every location, he used a screwdriver to gain entry into the sliding glass door of the apartment. And every one of these apartments backed up to woods, which they found the campsite in these woods. Now, all of these murders happened within, like, less than a mile of each other.
Yeah.
So what's crazy is so now you've got 5 murders in the small town of Gainesville, Florida. Now the state police have showed up. The National Guard has showed up. And the media storms the town. Thousands of media reporters from all over the world
Scream
have come to Gainesville. Hold on. So thousands have come to Gainesville. So as the police are doing their investigation, one of the people that they start looking at is this guy. His name's Ed Humphrey. He is 20 years old, lives in Gainesville. He's got some mental instability. They realize that, he's got some mental issues. He carried a knife, and he's got a history of violence. So they really start looking at this guy hardcore. Well, this guy ends up, at some point, he gets in a fight with his grandmother and ends up beating the shit out of his own grandmother. Okay?
Sound like a good guy.
So he is arrested, put in jail. They go to search his home, and they find all these magazines about knives, women, crime, and all kinds of different stuff. So they noticed after they put him in jail, all the murders stopped. He ended up being in jail with a $1 million bond. But they couldn't prove that it was him. They had no idea. He was just their prime suspect. Mm-hmm. So what they figured out through doing, we're talking 1990, DNA was not, it was around, but it wasn't as prevalent as it is now. Now it's very simple. I say simple, it's scientific. Yeah. But we use it all the time. What they had figured out is there are certain people that they call them secretors. Okay? So what that means is they can figure out your blood type from your sweat or your semen or saliva or whatever. Now, not everybody is a secretor. Well, what they figured out is the guy that was killing these women was a type B, blood type B secretor. So, of course, they
check him.
They check this Ed Humphrey guy and find out his blood type is type A. And they're like, okay. Now they're lost. They're like, we thought we had our guy.
Yeah.
Really don't know what, happened there. So, FBI shows up. FBI has this thing called VICAP, which I don't know if you know what that is. VICAP stands for Violent Criminal Apprehension Program. Basically what it is that's a program that they put in the information, evidence and clues and motive and stuff like that into a system, and it'll go out and it'll search the entire country, and it'll find
offenders.
What it does is it'll say, the same type of crime happened here, or happened there, or whatever. Well, they got a hit. First time they did it, they found out that there was a crime that had happened in Shreveport, Louisiana. Almost identical. Crime Stoppers receives a tip from Shreveport, Louisiana, and the VICAP finds that in November of 1989, now we're at August of 1990 is when these Gainesville murders happened. Yeah. In November of 1989, there was a triple murder in Shreveport, Louisiana. William Grissom, 55, his daughter Julie, 24, and his grandson Sean, 8. All three of them murdered the exact same way.
Ooh, the finest motherfucker.
Julie had been bound and gagged, just like the girls in Gainesville, stabbed in the back, and her body posed provocatively on the bed. So now the police are like, okay, now we've got something fucked up going on here. So they receive this. So the Grisham murders occurred on November 4th of 1989, but their bodies weren't found until November 6th of 1989. So the Crime Stoppers had received a tip from a woman. Her name was Cindy Dobbin. Cindy Dobbin had... I'm sorry, I forgot to tell you this. When the Gainesville police went to Shreveport, Louisiana, and got with the police department there, they found out that the perpetrator in Shreveport was a type B secretor. Same blood type, same secretor as the Gainesville murderer. So Cindy Dobbin calls Crime Stopper, and she says, hey, I think you ought to look at this guy. His name's Danny Rawling. And they're like, okay, why or whatever. And she said, well, this guy used to hang out at our house a lot. And she said, one night my husband came in and said, that guy needs to go. He needs to get out of here. I don't want to see this guy again. And so Cindy is like, why? What happened? I mean, the guy's here almost every night, and he's like, Danny Rollins told me that he likes to stick knives into people. And she thought that was odd. So, so she calls Crime Stoppers. Well, come to find out, these Grissom murders, Danny was infatuated with Julie Grissom, the 24-year-old daughter of the triple murder. So May 18th of 1990, we're going back a little bit. So Danny's father, Danny grew up in a kind of a tumultuous family deal. His father was a police officer. Well, apparently his father was very mean and abusive, and he used to beat Danny. Well, they ended up getting into a fight, and Danny actually shot his father right between the eyes with a small caliber weapon.
Dang.
His father survived it.
Oh, shit.
He lost one eye and apparently lost an ear sometime in the scuffle or whatever, but his father survived the shooting. So in August of 1990, Danny flees to Gainesville, Florida. Come find out, he's staying in a tent in the woods.
Down by the river.
Well, remember the bank robbery.
Yeah, in the woods.
In the woods. Okay? So here we are. We're a year, 6 months, 8 months later. The police are like, whoa, wait a minute. We found a fucking tape recorder in that fucking evidence. Nobody ever listened to the fucking tape recorder. These fucking cops pulled all this evidence in and found a tape recorder with a cassette tape in it and didn't fucking listen to it. What the fuck? If they would have listened to it, they'd have gotten the whole thing. When they realized, holy shit, they went to the evidence locker, they pulled this tape recorder, started listening to it. Well, this Danny Rollins guy he really wanted to be like a country music star, so he wrote a lot of music.
No, it's another damn Charles Manson.
But in there, he had talked about all kinds of weird stuff, and one of the things, like the very last recording on the tape is like, he says, and he even says his name on the tape. But the very last thing he says on the tape is, he's like, I'm going to have to sign off now. I've got some stuff I got to do. And they think that was the last recording he made before he did
the killings
in Gainesville. So 10 days after the discovery of the last body in Gainesville, Danny is arrested in Ocala, Florida for armed robbery of Winn-Dixie. Winn-Dixie is like a supermarket down in the South. I don't know if you guys know or whatever. So anyway, he's in jail for this. Well, the police are like, okay, we've got this DNA evidence. We need to go check this guy out. They go down. They get a perfect match. All right. So now they extradite this guy back to Gainesville. So he gets back to Gainesville and goes to prison. And the first person he meets in prison is this guy named Bobby Lewis. Now, Bobby Lewis is like a rock star in the prison. Bobby Lewis is the only man in U.S. history to escape death row. He didn't totally escape because they ended up catching his ass months later. Now he's back in prison. But anyway, this Danny Rowland befriends this Bobby Lewis guy, and he actually wants to tell them what he's done, but he doesn't want to tell them directly. So he talks to Bobby Lewis, and Bobby Lewis actually writes a letter to the prosecutor because Danny has just spilled the beans on everything he's done.
Mm-hmm.
And so a couple of years go by, and it's so funny. They pull this guy into a room, an interrogation room. It's Danny Rowland, the Bobby Lewis guy, and all the prosecutors. Every time they ask Danny Rowlands a question, if Bobby Lewis will answer it. And if Bobby Lewis doesn't know the answer, Danny Rowland would lean over and whisper the answer in his ear. He thought in his own fucking head that if I don't tell them directly, then it's not, they can't really fucking do anything. It's not a confession if I don't tell them directly. So he ends up going to trial for this, and he pled not guilty at first, and he's been in prison all this time, and they've got their investigation together or whatever. Bobby Lewis ends up introducing him to this woman. Her name's Sonja London. And she does like investigation stuff and writes books and all this shit. Well, she ends up falling in love with Danny Rowland. Of course, and it's a fucking circus, At one point, he fucking asks the court's permission to speak. And when he stands up, he turns around and looks at her and starts singing a country song to her. And the whole time they're trying to get him to stop. And he never does stop. He ends up finishing the fucking song.
Oh, Jesus
But it was like, what the fuck, But here's where it gets really fucking weird.
Oh, this is where it gets really weird.
Yeah, if it's not fucked up enough. So Danny Rowland claimed that he had multiple personalities and that he was basically possessed. He claimed that he was possessed by a character named Ynnad, which if you look at that, it's Ynnad. It's Danny spelled backwards. Okay? The other thing that's really fucked up is he claimed that there was a demon inside him that was perpetrating these murders. That demon's name was Gemini. One of the prosecutors realized that in August of 1990, when he was in Gainesville, they were premiering the movie The Exorcist 3. The Exorcist 3, the killer in that movie claimed to be possessed by the demon Gemini. I can't make this shit up, folks. I just cannot make this shit up. There is so much information about this guy. There's been a ton of fucking shit. But like Ryan said earlier, I want you to read this right here, right into the microphone.
Let's see. Rowland has been the subject of several written works. His crime spree inspired the screenwriter Kevin Williamson to pen the script of the 1996 slasher Scream.
That's exactly why I wanted to tell this story, folks, because you know what today is? Today's the premiere of the new Scream movie.
Oh, shit.
Came out today.
Cool.
Happy Scream.
Shit, yeah, it's awesome.
Yeah, Danny Rowlands is a fucking douchebag. Danny Rowlands spent the rest of his life in prison, and he was finally executed on October 25th of 2006 by lethal injection.
How crazy is it that I guessed that?
Yeah. As soon as you said that, I was like, because it was funny as I was going through this, I was like, I wonder if Ryan knows this story.
Because you asked
And as
me,
I started going through it more and more and more, I'm like, oh my God, dude, this is fucking insane. Insane.
well, you asked me before we recorded if I heard about this. I'm like, not really. I don't think so.
So truly, this whole story I've told you guys about the Gainesville Ripper, or the Shreveport Killer, was really the antithesis of the Scream franchise. Kevin actually had heard the story, and he kind of tweaked it, because if you look at the Scream franchise, it's all about college kids getting murdered.
Yeah.
Very crazy story. I'm going to tell you guys right now, if you really want to get down and dirty with this story, 2020 last year did a fucking phenomenal episode on this whole thing.
Yeah.
I mean, it was fucking, I was sitting there in awe. I was in disbelief.
Well, it goes to show
This
you.
guy was fucking sick.
Well, it goes to show you that the real monsters are fucking people. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's like, you have to be worried about shit. Just around here. Remember, not too long ago. Remember the case up there fucking in Lebanon?
Oh, yeah.
I mean, shit, that was what, 7-8 months ago?
Uh-huh.
Having people in cages and, like, torturing them and videos and all kinds of stuff. Who knows? And then as of recently, here in Rolla, dude, they've had these cases with these white vans fucking trying to fucking snatch people up.
Oh, shit, I hadn't fucking heard about that.
Yeah, Krista was just telling me, my wife was just telling me about this girl who was at a slice of pie.
I'd like to see a fucking white van snatch me up. I'm going to tell you right now, if it says free Halloween shit on the side of it, I'm going to fucking jump right in there.
I wish I could have seen it happen in front of me because I would fucking love to put a motherfucker down in a heartbeat. But
that's the thing that blows my mind about this story is, how they didn't fucking stop this guy. I mean, I get it. It was so fucking quick.
Yeah. But here...
I mean, you're talking from the time he started... Well, he killed the first 3 in 89, but from the time he killed these 5 college kids in Gainesville, it was 10 days before he was arrested at the Winn-Dixie.
Yeah. It's crazy, because, like, for me, it's kind of like... if someone breaks into my house, first of all, you got to get past my fucking dog.
Yeah, well, you're talking young, 18 to 23-year-old college students living in an apartment. Most of them aren't going to have animals. I get why he preyed on these people. They were easy.
Yeah, that guy,
and he was infatuated with women.
That guy would feel really bad if he broke into my house because all
Your wife would fucking beat him to death.
Yeah, she would. But not only that, but she'd really fucking feel bad because
fucking stab your wife, and she'd turn around and be like, "Motherfucker,
yeah. Son of a bitch must pay." Sorry, that's a little Big Trouble in Little China reference. Yeah. But no, he'd feel real bad because the last thing he'd see is a fucking fully naked guy with a fucking AR-15, a red dot right on his fucking head.
Slapping him right in the mouth with his cock. I don't need no fucking bullets. I'm gonna shoot you with semen, motherfucker.
Yeah, he wouldn't. All of a sudden, all he'd see is a fucking green dot on his fucking chest, and he'd be like,
Oh.
And then I'd say, and then he'd just see a smile coming from my bedroom as a fully naked man walking out there with an AR-15.
Dude, it was fucking crazy. One of the things they were talking about in this documentary was, how we fucking just went through all the fucking, walk into a grocery store and everything's fucking gone.
Mm-hmm.
That was happening in Gainesville. But when you walk into the store, there was no more fucking door locks. All the fucking guns were selling out. All these people were fucking scared to death.
That's what's going on.
The kids were leaving school and
what's going on in California right now.
That's fucking putting some serious fear into a fucking town, dude.
Well, I'll tell you what. The quick way for you to get fucking killed is fucking put enough people scared, dude, and people start getting fucking shot. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? That's why...
Gainesville Ripper, folks.
It's it's a crazy ass story, and it's it's cool. It's connected to Scream and all that, and whatnot, and The Exorcist.
Yeah, I thought that was kind of a fucking weird tie-in, but I get it.
I think people just need to realize that sometimes the real monsters are people.
Yeah, well, and you look at that fucking tie-in with Exorcist. I mean, that just proves that, some people, have the fucking mental, decapacity. I don't know how to fucking put that, but, to allow a fucking movie to change their fucking mental outlook on.
Well, shit, I think if it would with a person like that, it's going to happen no matter what.
Right. Well, and honestly, this guy had already murdered 3 people. Yeah,
he was just looking for an excuse.
He was just looking for an excuse. So, but so we're done with that story. I wanted to talk to you about some new movies.
We got 10 fucking minutes.
Oh, fuck that. We got all goddamn night.
Yeah, remember that fucking crazy ass wife you're talking about?
She's going to beat your ass when you get home.
Nope, I'm sending her ass over here.
Do it. I watched a really cool movie the other night. Mm-hmm. From 2021. It was a movie called Separation.
I've seen that on my list, and Krista's asked me about that.
Dude, you should watch that movie, man. That's fucking cool.
Is it?
Basically, the gist of the story is a young girl finds solace in her artist father, and the ghost of her dead mother. It was a very, very cool movie. What got me about it is the guy that directed that film was William Brent Bell. He did the Stay Alive movie.
Yeah.
From 2006. The Devil Inside from 2012, which great movie. And then he also did 2016's The Boy, which I don't know if you've checked that out. That's a decent movie, too.
Is that the one with a chick from Walking Dead on it?
Yes, I think so. And she goes to the house.
And house. She's supposed to watch the kid or something.
Yeah, and he's like a fucking doll.
Yeah.
Yes. The cast wise, I mean, it's not a star-studded cast, but one of the little girl in it is Violet Mcgraw. Mm-hmm. She was in The Haunting of Hill House, Ready Player One. She was also in Black Widow.
Gotcha.
But the one that really got me, and it's funny, I didn't even realize it. My wife actually said, "Hey, that's." There's a woman in there. Her name is Mamie Gummer. She's Meryl Streep's daughter. So,
well, look at you go.
And then Brian Cox. Brian Cox has been in a ton of shit. I mean, you would recognize Brian Cox if you saw him. Here, let me
look. I know a Cox when I see one. Okay.
Let me show you a Cox. As soon as I pull this picture up, you're gonna be like, "I know that motherfucker." I mean, he's been in fucking everything, dude.
Brian Cox. Why didn't you say that?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, that guy has been in fucking everything.
Yeah,
everything. I mean, he's got fucking 1,000 movies to his fucking credit here. Fucking Blade Runner.
Dude, it's a ton of movies.
The Simpsons, hey.
Hey.
God, just fucking...
Super Troopers, too.
Yeah. Yeah, he was the fucking captain in Super Troopers. Penny Dreadful. Fucking... I mean, just Forsaken. This guy has been in a fucking ton of shit.
He was in Forsaken?
From 2015. It's a new one.
Oh, okay. So that's one of my favorite movies.
Not the one that you're thinking of.
I fucking love that movie. It's one of my favorite vampire movies.
Another cool movie I checked out was a movie called The Manor from 2021. It is about a nursing home that it's almost got a Cocoon vibe to it.
Gotcha.
But with a twist. It's fucking witches.
Ooh.
Yeah, it was pretty good. Pretty good. And then another cool one that I think you'd get a kick out of is there's a movie called Night Teeth.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Did you watch
I haven't
that?
seen it, but I seen that. I seen it on my.
Dude, it's actually pretty cool.
Is it?
It's basically the story of a guy that's like, I don't want to say he's an Uber driver, but basically he drives a limousine. It's like an Escalade or something like that. And he ends up picking up these two girls.
Yes.
And he's got to take them around town. Well, these two girls are vampires.
Yeah.
And he doesn't know it, of course. And, well, he figures it
He finds that shit out.
He finds out. But, Night Teeth, pretty cool flick.
Sweet. What'd you think about, Pulse?
Pulse was different. It was weird seeing Kristen Bell in that kind of role.
Yeah.
But I liked it. It was a decent film.
It definitely felt like that era.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. It had that total '90s feel to it.
I'm thinking about trying to do an episode maybe on like children's horror movies that kids could watch. Scary movies for kids.
Like Scary Stories and
things like that. Yeah. Or Scary Stupid, stuff like that.
We can do that.
Hell
yeah.
But yeah.
Fuck yeah.
Well, that's an awesome fucking story, dude.
So yeah,
I mean, it was
get a kick out of that, and like I said,
story.
my big tie-in there was the Scream franchise,
which I guessed.
Yeah, you did. And Scream just came out today, actually.
Sweet.
Thursday, January 13th. To be everywhere tomorrow. I was actually going to go see that tonight, but then we decided to record tonight.
He's like, thanks for ruining my fucking night.
No. I'll probably go this weekend and see. I am a huge Scream fan.
Yeah, I love Scream.
I just absolutely love the whole fucking franchise.
Me too.
I think what they did with that is beyond words. I mean, they really brought horror back to the mainstream. I mean,
well, it's like the greatest homage to horror. It's like especially the first one. I like them all. Of course.
Oh, yeah.
But the first one's just such an excellent film. That's a legendary film. Yeah. It's funny because
fucking oh my god, what the fuck is her name? Rose McGowan. Hey, Mr. Ghostface. Bing. Yeah. Fucking love that movie.
All right, guys. Well, that's another one in the books for you. That was a good story. That was a good story, dude. I like it.
Yeah, it's a fucking creepy story. There's a couple things, like I said, if you want to see a really good documentary on it, 2020 did an episode. It's called The Devil Comes to Gainesville. There's also right now, just came out, if you're a Discovery subscriber, you can catch, they have a series called Shock Docs, and their Shock Doc is Scream this month.
Oh, cool.
And they talk a little bit about this. But if you want the big story, check out the 2020 episode. It was from last year sometime.
Awesome. All right, horror fam. That's it. That's it for this one. We love you guys. Thanks for your support as always. And we're going to keep on moving on into 2022.
Keep it on.
So, all right, horror fam. We love you guys. And more importantly, as always, until next time, keep it creepy.